What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Dominic Rich, and I'm here to give my thoughts on the last match day of AFC World Cup qualifiers, and that's match day 7, where after that game, after those games, I should say, I don't know why I said that game, but after those games, only 3 matches left. So it's crunch time right now. It's getting very, very close to that time where we find out who makes the cut and who don't, and who goes on to the 4th round in the playoffs to play the Intercontinental playoff final against a team from South America. So let's talk AFC match day 7 fixtures results. All right, so you see the teams left in the competition here: Australia, Japan, Saudi Arabia, China, Korea Republic, Syria, Iran, Lebanon, the UAE, Iraq, Oman, and Vietnam. The teams were drawn into 2 groups of 6, where the top 2 teams would qualify directly for Qatar, and the teams placing 3rd in each group will meet in the 4th round in a final, where the winner would go on to the Interconfederation playoff to play a team from South America. So let's scroll down to the match day 7 fixtures, and we're just going to talk about the 6 results briefly, and then we're going to move on and see what happened in South America. So the 2 confederations are now connected, seeing that they would have a final, Interconfederation final. So let's talk the first game, Australia versus Vietnam. Well, Australia completely destroyed Vietnam. I didn't expect any other result but an Australia win. But goddamn, they really threw the kitchen sink at Vietnam. And it's important that they do so because, you know, who knows, goal difference may come into play later on. You never ever know, man. So well done by Australia for winning that game 4-0. In that game, Jamie McLaren scored in the 38th minute. Tom Rogic in the 2nd minute of first half extra time. Craig Goodwin in the 72nd minute, and Riley McCree in the 76th. It was a pretty straightforward game. I think the Australian goalkeeper Matt Ryan was really tested on one occasion, where I think that was Win Kong Fong who almost scored. I might be wrong, but he was tested on one occasion I could remember. Look, Vietnam had 8 shots at goal, 2 on target. Australia, 16 shots at goal, 7 on target, with 61% of the ball. And they really, really dominated this game. I didn't expect anything other than an Australian win, and they did so. They now go up to 14 points, but the only problem is they are still in 3rd place. That loss to Japan is definitely haunting them right about now. So Australia would just want to continue picking up points and just hope that Japan or Saudi Arabia drop points and they could leapfrog them into 2nd or 1st. But so far, the Australian team has looked really, really good under Graham Arnold in World Cup qualifiers. You got to give him that. I was actually watching the highlights there, and I was like, this team is a quality team, you know. It's a really quality team. But the only thing is, there's 2 other teams in the group that have just been better in Japan and Saudi Arabia. And Australia, like the 2018 World Cup qualifiers, may have to go through the playoffs. And they're the type of team that has been going through the playoffs for many World Cup cycles. So they do know that territory very well, and I don't think they'll be afraid of it. But yeah, it's not a territory you want to trek too often. So for Vietnam, they have been officially eliminated, guys. Officially eliminated. Let's just scroll down to the table right here, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. We go to the Group B table. And you see Australia in 3rd with 14 points. Vietnam, 7 games played, 7 losses. They are officially eliminated. They were eliminated already, but, you know, this is definitely officially eliminated for Vietnam. Good try, their first time in this round of World Cup qualifiers. So they are making progress. They did qualify for the 2023 Asian Cup as well. So it wasn't all for nothing. So with that being said, guys, congrats to Australia. Hard luck to Vietnam. In terms of Australia and their next match, the next game will be against Oman. And I did mention in the preview that Australia must win both games in this current international break in order to really give Japan a good run for their money, because they do play Japan and Saudi Arabia in March. So Australia's destiny is definitely in their own hands, and it's up to them if they make it to Qatar or not. They don't have to depend on results. It's their results, their games, because they're coming up against their direct rivals. As for Vietnam, their next game is against China. That game is winnable, but China would definitely be rubbing their hands here to play Vietnam. And then they do have Oman and Japan to finish off proceedings. But the way the group is going right about now, guys, look, man, look. It's Australia, Japan, and Saudi Arabia in the running. That's a 7-point gap between them and Oman. Oman has no chance of getting third, in my opinion. They could still manage to get 16 points total, but I don't think that's going to happen. I really don't think that's going to happen, man. So, yeah, Oman, China, and Vietnam would miss out, while Australia and Japan would scrap it out for that third place. Second and third, in my opinion, Saudi Arabia should qualify directly. So it's between Japan and Australia in this group. So, look, I think I spent way too long on that game. We're going to move on, definitely. And let's talk Japan too. China's People Republic 0. Good stuff by Japan. I think they were very, good throughout the match. From the highlights, 2 good goals scored. Yuyo Osako in the 13th minute from the penalty spot, and Junya Ito with a header in the 61st minute, where Japan totally dominated this game. 16 shots at goal, 6 on target, 63% of the ball, compared to China's 1 shot at goal. And I could remember that was a free kick that was put wide. 1 shot on goal, none on target, 37% possession. This was horrible. That's horrible in terms of the performance there by China. This game was so freaking one-sided, man. But the Japanese team is just showing their quality. They had more opportunities, wasn't able to take them. A few blocks by the Chinese defense as well. And it's just sad to see, how China is not really progressing. And they did have the Chinese Super League to help with that. But, of course, you know what happened with that, though. So, Japan 2, China 0. See how it reflects on the table. Japan are still second with 15 points, and only those 2 losses, the blemish on their record so far. Those losses might not end up being costly, but you never ever know, man. Look, I expect Hajime Moriyasu's team to qualify directly, and let's see if they would actually keep up that momentum and keep Australia off their backs, because, look, they do have Australia to play. So that game, I think, will be the decider, but it might not be the decider because, look, Japan got Saudi Arabia, and they got to get something from the Saudi Arabia game, preferably for them, a win. Because let's say Japan drop points. We're looking at the table right now. Japan drop points to Saudi Arabia. Let's say they draw. Saudi Arabia go up to 20 points, Japan go up to 16, and Australia win their game against Oman. Then Australia go into second, meaning the game between Australia and Japan, if Australia does get a draw and win their next game, the last game, Australia are the ones that will qualify. So it is going to be very, very entertaining and very exciting, and I just can't wait to see how this one would unfold. So look, in terms of China, man, that's it. They don't qualify. They don't stand a chance. 5 points, 3 matches left. Maximum of 9 points attainable. A maximum of 9 points left. So they could only get 14 points. So that's it for them. They definitely eliminated. They won't qualify for sure. Australia not going to drop all points for the remaining matches. So China out, Vietnam out. Oman with a slight chance, but they're pretty much out in my opinion. So, yeah, man. Yeah. As I did mention, China's next game is against Vietnam. Then they do have Saudi Arabia and Oman. And for Japan, Samurai Blue, they have Saudi Arabia, Australia, and Vietnam. Well, they should win the final game, but those two games between them and Saudi Arabia and Australia are going to be very, very difficult. So with that being said, let's move on to the next game. And let's go. That game is, let's just finish off that side of the table, and Saudi Arabia 1, Oman 0. This was not a good performance by Saudi Arabia at all, if you ask me. I think they could have been much better. First half, very, very poor. But Oman didn't really offer much threat going forward in the first half at all. But the second half, when Saudi Arabia did get a lot better and a few substitutions were made, I think a substitution was actually made in the first 30 minutes of this game by Hervé Renard. So, Hervé Renard made some tactical changes early on in the match, and it ended up paying off. Hatan Bahabri was brought on, and early change, I think that was Al Malki that was brought off, if I'm not mistaken. So, they didn't look too good. They have looked good so far in World Cup qualifiers under Hervé Renard, but in this game, wasn't the most polished performance at all. They did create chances, didn't take their chances, and it took a very scrappy goal in the second half by Firas Al Buraikan, 48 minutes, a little tap in there for them to get over the line. Oman really, really, really played better in the second half and kept the Saudis honest, requiring the Saudi Arabian keeper to pull off a big save to prevent it being a 1-1 draw. And that was right at the very end. So, well, look, Oman give good account for themselves, just not good enough across the group. Wasn't consistent enough after that win against Japan in the opening game. And Saudi Arabia rummed to a narrow 1-0 win. I did get the predictions right, where I predicted Saudi to beat Oman, predicted Japan to beat China, and Australia to beat Vietnam. So, pretty much on point with my prediction for Group B. For Group A, I didn't do so well. I didn't do so well at all. You know what I mean? I'm going to keep it real. I didn't do so well. So, look, Saudi Arabia continue to dominate in the group. They are on 19 points, and they're on the cusp of qualifying. So, look, if Saudi Arabia does win their next game, and that game coming up for Saudi Arabia is against Japan, that would definitely seal qualification for Saudi Arabia, because they will go up to 22 points. Japan will be on 15 with only a maximum of 21 points attainable. So Saudi Arabia will definitely qualify. So congrats in advance to the Green Falcons. I didn't predict you guys to make it, and I feel so ashamed of myself right now. I gotta keep it real. Definitely gotta keep it real. So, look, for Saudi Arabia, as I did mention, they play Japan next, then China and Australia on the final match day. Australia and Japan will be looking to basically give us a twist here. So, for Oman, their next game will be against Australia, then they play Vietnam and China. They will be looking to finish off with 2 wins at the back end there. I don't think it will be enough to get third or even compete with Australia or Japan there. So it would just be, just for consolation purposes. So that does it for that side of the bracket. And it's pretty clear-cut who would actually compete for those World Cup places in Saudi Arabia, Japan, and Australia. Well, we go over to the other side of the other group. What am I saying, bracket? The other group where Korea Republic defeated Lebanon a goal to nil. I did predict a narrow win for Korea Republic as well. I'm not going to go back and find the notes, but I think I did predict a 1-0 win if I'm not mistaken. And it ended just so. So in this game, 46-minute goal. Well, the 45th minute goal, I should say. Cho Gu-sung. And that was the only goal of the game. We know Lebanon are a very gritty team. They didn't really pose too much of a threat in the final third. They didn't have a lot of the ball. They only had 24% of the ball. And for Korea Republic, 13 shots at goal, 5 on target. They played the match with Hwang Hee-chan, who's injured, and Son Heung-min, who's injured. So you got to give it to them for actually pulling off a win where, you know, they were definitely without their best players. They fashioned good chances but weren't able to take them. So for Lebanon, just not good enough going forward at all. And I think that's what actually hurt them during this World Cup qualifiers. And they will look to rectify that next time around. They'll be at the Asian Cup next year, so they could take solace in that. So South Korea won't be long in South Korea because they won the game. They should qualify for the World Cup, but mathematically the UAE could still catch them with 18 points. So South Korea would need to win their next game, and that next game will be against Syria. So they got to win that game, and once they win that game, if the UAE fail to win their game where their next match is against Iran, then, you know, Korea Republic will qualify for yet another World Cup. I think they will on the next match day. They should beat Syria. Iran should get something against UAE, and then we'll be talking about Korea Republic joining Iran as one of 2 teams from Group A making the cut. So congrats to Korea Republic. Hard luck to Lebanon, the Cedars, as they also kind of fall out the race for third. So right now it's looking like the UAE are gonna be in that third place, you know, that 4th round match to play one of Japan or Australia. Most likely it's gonna be Australia in my opinion, but let's see how it is though. That's gonna be a good one. That's definitely gonna be a good one. So look, definitely gonna move on, but before we do, let us talk about who Lebanon plays next. For Lebanon, the next game will be against Iraq, and after the Iraqi game they play Syria and Iran. So let's see how they fare in their remaining matches. So we got 2 more to talk about, and that's the UAE 2, Syria 0. I've been really disappointed with Syria. I don't know what happened to Syria. It's like they regressed. They were so much better in the 2018 World Cup qualifiers, but Syria has gotten so, you know, they look good in the last round. That's why they're in the 3rd round. They look good in the 2nd round, but I don't know what's going on. Maybe when they meet better oppositions, they get exposed though, but they haven't been good. Really haven't been good. And 2 good goals by the UAE, you know, very, very good build-up play and everything. So you got to give it to the UAE. And I didn't predict them to win the game. I thought they were going to end the game in a draw. But Kiao Kanedo Correa in the 43rd and Yaya Al-Ghassani in the 70th, set up by Kiao as well. So 2 good goals. The UAE convincing victory over Syria. Syria did get their chances, did get a lot of the ball, but just didn't capitalize. 12 shots at goal, 5 on target, 52% of the ball. Passed the ball better than the UAE, but still couldn't score. The UAE with 10 shots at goal, 4 on target, 48% of the ball, and 493 passes with an 81% pass accuracy. So good win. Forget about all those stats. The most important stat is the 2-0 win over Syria. So they should hold down 3rd place and should go into the 4th round to play most likely Australia, but let's see how that one works out. So for the UAE, the remaining matches are against Iran, then they play Iraq and South Korea. Very tough games. They would need to win them. They would need to maybe not win them, but get some points. At least win the game against Iraq. That's going to be tough, but all the games are going to be tough. The remaining matches are definitely going to be tough. As for Syria, their games are against South Korea, Lebanon, and Iraq. They could get some points, but I think right now they're definitely eliminated, so it doesn't even matter. They're eliminated. It doesn't matter what they do. So Syria eliminated, Iraq are eliminated as well. They could only get a maximum of 13 points. Lebanon are eliminated as well. They could only get a maximum of 14 points. And for the UAE, yeah, well, I said Iraq and Lebanon are eliminated. Well, I should just rephrase that and say they cannot finish top two. Pardon me. They cannot finish top two. They could still finish third. So, pardon me if I said eliminated. But, yeah, you know what I mean. They definitely won't catch the UAE, in my opinion. But it is still mathematically possible for all three teams to catch them. But it's not going to happen. It ain't going to happen. So, let me rephrase. Lebanon, Iraq, and Syria are not eliminated. I got a little carried away there. But they can finish top two. But they can still finish third. But in my opinion, won't finish third. Okay? So let's just look at the table. Got the table briefly. See exactly what I'm talking about here. And we go over to Group A. Look, Syria, Iraq, Lebanon cannot finish top two, but can still finish third. But in my opinion, they're out. And we go over to Group B here, where Vietnam cannot finish in third. China cannot finish in third. And for Oman, three games, yeah, Oman could still finish third, but they won't. Definitely won't. So it brings us to the final game. Iraq 0, Iran 1. Let's go up here. The derby there. Iran in their home stadium, they managed to pull this off and qualify for their 6th World Cup finals. So congratulations to Iran. I put out a video talking about that. So big up to Iran. They truly, truly deserve it. Definitely deserve it. So look, Mediterranean with the only goal of the game. And I think Iran made hard work of it. But you got to give it to the goalkeeper though. The goalkeeper Talib from Iraq, he was absolutely exquisite on the day. And look, a lot of opportunities for Iran. 21 shots at goal, 9 on target. They had 57% of the ball. It was Talib, man. It was Talib. But Iraq kept themselves in the game. They had 10 shots, 3 on target. And they could have gotten that equalizing goal. So it was too close for comfort. But Iran are now qualified to the World Cup, being only the second Asian team to join the bunch along with the host Qatar. So Iran qualifies from Group A, and South Korea are just awaiting their spot as well. So congratulations to Team Melly, and they're not doing a bad job right now, if you ask me. They didn't look like they were going to qualify, but when they sacked Mark Wilmots and brought in Dragan Skokic, things really took a turn for the up, so well done, man. Well done. Definitely well done to Iran. And they are back at the World Cup once again. They did good at the last World Cup, and will be looking to do much better this time around, in terms of getting out the group for the first time ever. So that's just my quick roundup on Asia. Let's take a brief look at what's going on. Definitely what's going on in South America. But before we do, let's talk about Iran, who they play next. Their next game is against the UAE, and they play South Korea and Lebanon. They already qualified, so they have nothing to lose right now. So as for Iraq, their remaining matches are against Lebanon, UAE, and against Syria. Look, if they win their games and the UAE fail to, pick up points, then Iraq could come in third. So Lebanon, Syria, Iraq are still in with a shout for third. But the UAE, with that 4-point gap, I doubt they would relinquish it, man. Seriously, I really doubt. But for them, Iran and South Korea are going to be tough. They might just lose those games. If they pick up 3 again, oh man, it's going to be really hard. It's going to be hard. Look, Group A for third is going to be very, very interesting, I'm telling you. So I was going on about, eliminated, until I realized, whoa, that's not the case. That is definitely not the case whatsoever. So, yeah, let's take a look at South America. You know what I'm saying? Let's take a look at South America and just briefly touch on South America. I hope I do have the time because I have to let my wife in the house. You know, there's a door that we latch from the little baby. And, you know, I hope she doesn't come home knocking on the door and I have to leave. But I'm just letting you know, if she does, I have to run upstairs and unlatch the door. But let's not make that happen. Let's talk about CONMEBOL. And we're going to do that briefly. I don't really want to talk about CONMEBOL for a very long time. I did so in the preview already. And I just want to touch on the results right now. So we're in the final round where Brazil and Argentina have already qualified. Ecuador getting closer to qualifying as well. And teams like Colombia, Peru are definitely still in the hunt. Chile, Bolivia to a lesser extent. And of course, you know, Paraguay. Venezuela pretty much out, but you know, they're still fighting. So let's go down to the games that were played and just touch on the games briefly, talk a bit of permutations, and then keep it moving. So, all right, we got the games here. Ecuador won, Brazil won. What a game that was. Very feisty clash. I did predict a win for Brazil, but Ecuador at home really showed what they're made of, and they have been so much better during this World Cup qualifying cycle. They did a whole revamp of their federation and everything, and they made a lot of changes, and they were going through, you know, the process of getting a coach. I remember Jody Cruyff was appointed, and then he left, and then, you know, they were really going through a bad time. And it's a really good turnaround for them. They look good. A lot of youthful players in the team, and they're performing well, man. So, look, big drama in the game. Alexander Dominguez, well, was sent off. But before that, Casemiro, early goal in a 6-minute scrappy goal. But then Dominguez sent off for that karate kick on Mateus Cunha. And then Emerson Royal, second yellow for kicking the Ecuadorian player in his nuts. And then we had a goal by Felix Torres in the 75th minute. But look, there's so much drama. Alisson Becker sent off twice in the game, and then both red cards rescinded. 2 penalties were given to Ecuador, both of them not given when VAR was checked. So it was a really, really scrappy game, and I do think Ecuador deserved the point. Brazil weren't good enough on the day. They really weren't. They really, really weren't at their best, especially without Neymar. A lot of times you see Brazil play, they struggle, and Neymar somehow finds a way to unlock defenses. He wasn't there on the day, and I think, you know, he was definitely the missing piece for Brazil. But Ecuador, man, one feisty team, man. I can't go through each and every event that happened in this game, but I could definitely, you know, just give my thoughts on that, man. That's just, you know, how I feel about that. I never expected Ecuador to even come close to winning this game, but they proved me wrong. So, look, very even contest. 10 shots at goal for Ecuador, 1 on target, the one in the back of the net. 45% possession, 12 shots at goal for Brazil, 6 on target, which meant that the Ecuadorian keepers were actually the busiest. The backup keeper who came off the bench when Dominguez was sent off, and, you know, Dominguez himself. So Brazil, of course, you know, they would dominate proceedings, but they didn't dominate in the goal scoring department at all. It was a rough game, physical game. Players got banged up, and they both ended up sharing the spoils at the end of the day. So, look, we just take a quick look at the table right there. For Ecuador, they're third. They go up to 24 points. I think one more win would actually secure that spot. 27 points should be good. Definitely should be the sweet spot. Brazil qualified already. Yet to lose a game. 3 draws, 11 wins. So Ecuador doing very well. I did predict them to qualify for the World Cup. I don't know if I did predict them to qualify directly or via the playoffs, but I said they're going to make it. Their next games, 3 matches remaining, are against direct competitors Peru, who just picked up a victory against Colombia. So that's going to be a good one. That's going to be in Peru as well. Then Ecuador has Paraguay, a game they have to win because then they play Argentina on the final day. And you don't want to have 9 points available, ending up picking up none and get caught by the teams that's behind you. You see what I'm saying? You see what I mean? So Ecuador, you gotta continue playing well and pick up points. Even if it's 2 more points, get them. Definitely get them. So for Brazil, we know they still have to play that game against Argentina. I don't know if that game would actually ever be played. They might just give Argentina the points. But they do have Paraguay, Chile, and Bolivia. They're looking to play spoil sport for those teams. Brazil, even though they qualified already, are not going to go easy. So we're going to move on to the next game. And we're doing well. And that's Uruguay 1, Paraguay 0. I did predict a win for Uruguay. So quality stuff there by your boy Dom, of course. But look, the Paraguayan team just not good enough going forward. Well, Uruguay just packed up all over the field. I was actually surprised by the fact that Facundo Pelistri started. But the new manager, Diego Alonso, is just showing that, hey, man, I'm about to try new things. I'm about to be innovative and do things differently than Oscar Tabarez. So that was a shock starter for me in Pelistri. And look, Ronald Arroyo even played at right back. The defense was stacked up, man. Oliveira, Jimenez, Godin, and Arroyo. Quality team with Valverde, Bentancur, Vecino, Suarez, and Nunez. So Cavani, Edinson Cavani was on the bench. You know what I'm saying? So that tells a lot. That really tells a lot. But look, good goal by Luis Suarez there, set up by Diego Godin. Nice lofted ball. Suarez on mark, went in behind, smashed it past the Paraguayan goalkeeper Silva. So it was also a red card in the game. Gustavo Gomez got a second yellow in the 95th minute. And Uruguay held on for the win. So, look, Muslera wasn't in the goal. That was actually where Rochet was in goal. Never heard of him before. Yeah, it's okay. You know, I can't know them all, man. I can't know them all. But, look, I think Uruguay were the better team. Did get tested on a few occasions, but dealt with it. Paraguay with 8 shots, 2 on target, 46% of the ball. While Uruguay with 15 shots, 4 on target, 54% of the ball. So well done. Well done to the Sky Blues on picking up that win. They were really going through a bad patch after losing, I think, 4 on the bounce. So that's a much needed win, man, to turn their form around. They're in 5th right now in the playoff spot. And they've been there before. Definitely been there before. They would want to avoid that playoff spot, though. So, for them, the upcoming games are against Venezuela. You got to beat Venezuela. You definitely got to beat Venezuela. Then they do have Peru, direct competitor, and Chile, direct competitor. That's going to be a very tough 2 matches there for Uruguay. But they would fancy their chances of qualifying either via the playoffs or directly. So, with that being said, for Paraguay, it's not looking good for them at all. It ain't looking good. Let's just scroll down to the table right now, and you see Uruguay in 5th with 19 points. Paraguay are in 9th with 13 points, with only 8 points available. They could only get a maximum of 21 points, which means that they can't pass Ecuador. So, they could only get that final spot if Peru has a meltdown, and Uruguay, so Paraguay is they're not making it. They're not making it. Along with Venezuela there, Paraguay are not making it. All the other teams have realistic chances, but Paraguay and Venezuela, I don't think, 19 points if they do win their remaining games, and 19 points, and you have 22 points won't be good. 22 points won't be good enough at all. That won't be good. So, hard luck. Hard luck to Paraguay. Plus, for them, their remaining matches are against Brazil, Ecuador, and Peru. They're not making it. It's over for them. Definitely over for Paraguay. Weren't good enough at all. Overall, weren't good enough. So we do have three more games to talk about. Let's get to those matches. Chile 1, Argentina 2. Yeah, I didn't really mean to click on that one, but I did. Yeah, oh, this one works. This one works. When you click on it, it goes back to where it was supposed to be. You know, the website is very, very clunky though. But look, Chile 1, Argentina 2. I expected Chile to at least bag a freaking draw, and they ended up losing the game. Angel Di Maria with a really good strike in the 9th minute. Then Ben Brereton with a good goal, good headed goal, lofted ball in the 20th minute. I don't know what Emi Martinez was doing off his line. And then Lautaro Martinez in the 34th minute there from the rebound. And Argentina held on for the win without Lionel Messi. So Chile dominated the match for the most part in terms of shots and goal with 13, 4 on target, 60% of the ball, better passing stats, but just couldn't better in the goal department. Argentina 7 shots, 5 on target, 40% of the ball. It was actually nice to see Julian Alvarez, future Man City player, run on off the bench. Angel Correa, Giovanni Lo Celso, Marcos Acuna. Chile, even, you know, with that late charge that they've been on, you know, right now, it's going to be tough for them to qualify after losing this game because they're 7th right now with 16 points. They've lost back-to-back games. Let's say they have won those games, they would have been in a really good position. But the odds are really stacked up against them right now, where they have a maximum of 9 points left and they could only get 25 total. I don't think 25 points would be enough to qualify at all for the World Cup. So let's see. And I don't think they'll win their remaining matches. They do play Bolivia in La Paz. That's going to be tough. They play Brazil in Brazil, and they have a final match day against Uruguay, where Uruguay might need points, Chile might need points. It's going to be a tough one. As for Argentina, who already qualified, they don't have nothing to worry about. They could experiment. They have Colombia, Venezuela, and they do have Ecuador. They will look to play spoil sport for Colombia and Ecuador. Let's see if they do. So with that said, congrats to Argentina again for making the cut to the World Cup once again. Let's see how Chile does. Let's move on. We got 2 more to go. We're doing well. Colombia 0, Peru 1. I thought this game was actually going to end in... I think I predicted another draw, you know, seeing that Peru, you know, very competitive right now. And they really competing for points, along with Colombia as well. But Colombia has not been good, though. Colombia have not won any of their last 5 matches, and I think it's stretched further back. They have drawn 8 matches, only won 3 and lost 4. Not good enough, but they're still in the hunt to qualify for the World Cup. There's still a place available. So in this game, Colombia were the more dominant team, man. You know, watching this game, I'm like, I don't understand how Colombia did not score. I'm trying to wrap my mind around it, how they didn't score. I'm not going to go through every detail, of course. There's too many to talk about. But 30 shots at goal, only 2 on target. That's wasteful. That is wasteful. They can't score. They can't seem to score. A lot of 0-0 draws in their last 9 matches. 2 shots on target, 69% of the ball. But 30 shots? God damn, man. Jeez. Peru, they only sat back and defended. Gayesi, brilliant. Look, 4 shots on goal, 1 breakaway, and Edinson Flores in the back. I don't know how David Ospina allowed that ball to beat him at his damn post. That was poor goalkeeping, and Colombia got caught, and they had no reply. Look, star-studded team, man. You had Falcao on the field. Luis Diaz now linked with Liverpool. He's going to sign. James Rodriguez, Wilmar Barrios, Davinson Sanchez, Juan Cuadrado, Yerry Mina, Johan Mojica, and you had Ospina. All these guys are playing big football in Europe. You know what I'm saying? And they couldn't beat the Peruvian goalkeeper. They were just wasteful. Very, very wasteful. And they got sucker punched. They really got sucker punched by Peru. Good on Peru for picking up this win, because with this win, they go up in a direct qualification spot, 20 points. And for them, their remaining matches are against Ecuador. That's going to be a good one in Peru. They play Uruguay away and they host Paraguay. So if they could win those 2 home games, they're going to make it, man. They're definitely going to make it. Back-to-back World Cups after that long hiatus, 1982 to 2018, 36 years. Peru making it back-to-back. Ricardo Gareca still in charge. Well done. Well done, Peru. Well done. As for Colombia, oh, man. Colombia, it's not looking good at all. Not looking good. You're in 6th, 17 points with a maximum of 26 attainable. And for them, their remaining matches are against Argentina, Bolivia, and Venezuela. They got to win the games between themselves and Bolivia and Venezuela, but those are not going to be guaranteed wins at all. The derby against Venezuela, that's going to be a good one. Look, Colombia might end up not winning any of these games, you know what I'm saying? But let's see how it is. Bolivia do not play well on the road, so they might win that one. They might go on to get 7 points. Who knows? But it ain't looking good at all for Colombia. They may miss the World Cup this time around. And, you might see Coach Ronald Rueda getting his ass sacked. So, look, with that being said, guys, we're going to keep it moving. We got one more game to talk about. Yes, we're almost there. Venezuela 4, Bolivia 1. I predicted Bolivia to win this game. I don't know why I predicted Bolivia to win the game, but I just had a feeling they would win the game, seeing that they're in desperate position for points. Man, that was a bad prediction, Dom. Venezuela, Bolivia do not play well on the road at all. They got smashed. They got battered 4-1. It could have been worse. It could have been really, really worse, man. Solomon Rondon with a freaking hat-trick. 25th, 35th, 67th minute. And Darwin Matches actually stole that goal by, pressing the goalkeeper and the defender. Bad decision made. And Maquis just pounced on it and scored that goal. Bruno Miranda did pull one back for Bolivia in the 38th minute. And then Lionel Justiano got sent off in the 60th, which meant they had to play the final 30 minutes with only 10 men. And they were just horrible on the day, man. Really, really bad. Venezuela dominated. Why does Venezuela wait until the back end of World Cup qualifiers to perform well? I don't know why they do that, though. 23 shots, 9 on target, 55% possession. They were all over Bolivia. Laverde, they only had 6 shots at goal, 1 on target with 45% of the ball. They weren't good. They look ragged on the day. And I think this is a big opportunity miss for them to go up to 18 points and really put pressure on the likes of Peru, Uruguay, and Ecuador. They would have been ahead of Colombia. They would have been ahead of Chile if they had won the game. But, of course, they didn't. They lost. Venezuela still at the bottom. And they could actually look to pass Paraguay and now place last. For Venezuela, their next game is against Uruguay, then Argentina and Colombia. They would look to play sport for Uruguay and Colombia. The other teams will be hoping that Venezuela pick points off those teams. You could ask Paraguay about Venezuela, where Paraguay were close to qualifying for the last World Cup, but lost on the final match day to Venezuela, and missed out. For Bolivia, what they got working for them is 2 home games in La Paz, but one is against Brazil, the other against Chile, and they have Colombia on the road. I don't think Bolivia would qualify, but if they manage to win these 3 games, they may just stand a chance. So let's go back and take a look at the table. And, this is what the table looks like, guys. Brazil, Argentina qualified. Ecuador on the cusp. Peru, Uruguay fighting for that last available spot if Ecuador just continue picking up points. Colombia still in the hunt. Chile still in the hunt. Bolivia with a slight chance. It's getting really hot. 3 match days to go. Let's see who will join Brazil and Argentina. So coming up for the next match there, we'll make predictions at another time. Bolivia play Chile, Uruguay play Venezuela, Argentina play Colombia, Brazil play Paraguay, and Peru will take on Ecuador in a big 6-pointer there. So guys, these are my thoughts. 45 minutes to wrap up those two confederations. Not bad. Congrats to Iran once again on qualifying for the World Cup. Argentina, Brazil have made it. And all the best to all the other teams. Okay? So, guys, I do appreciate the continued support. Don't forget, today's stream is brought to you by the lovely folks over at manscaped.com, who are the best in men's grooming. Use the coupon code Dominic Rich to get yourself 20% off each and every one of your orders. Shipping is free. Like the video if you like it. Subscribe if you're new. Road to 50K is in full effect. Guys, I just had to do this because I'm so strapped for time. So many things going on at the same time. The transfer window, AFCON, CONMEBOL, CONCACAF, AFC. So many things going on. You have to deal with real life situations, you know, family, work. And I had to do this. I had to get this one off my chest. I just don't feel good when I don't, you know, talk about everything, okay? I still do have to. I want to, this time, this window, I still want to touch on Europe, even though they're not playing. I want to touch on Africa and Oceania. So I want to do something on those confederations, though. So, guys, thanks for watching another one from your boy, Dom. I like to say peace out. Rich Squad. Peace.